Hello, everybody. We are live. Let me just let people know on Facebook that I am live. So this way that people know we are live. And today we will be coloring from Queens of Poland. So my mother's on the phone, so I apologize for that if you hear some of the conversation. So today we are coloring from hello to the one person in the chat. Today we are coloring from Queens of Poland by Krystyna Novak. So this is a hardcover. I bought it many years ago. I think I bought it off a Polish website, but I'm not entirely sure if you can even get this book anymore. It may be out of print, but it is a beautiful, beautiful book. It has lots and lots of pictures. So this is Queens of Poland. So today, and the paper is just stunningly beautiful. I put a piece of paper in it, and every picture in here is a stunning work of art. Because I picked the one that's a little bit more on the brick. See, what they do is this is number 20. It tells you when the person was alive. So this is Margaret of Brandenburg. She was actually, what they do is these images are based on real Polish queens. So you guys probably have seen, I did this. So born in Brandenburg, Margaret was the third wife of Przemysl II. The couple was crowned in 1295 for the first time in 200 years. Poland had a queen. However, local families wondered about Przemysl's rise in power and influence, brought about his death only a year later. So there is an actual historical, these queens actually have an actual historic reference. So you guys know that I love all kinds of pencils and artwork. Of course, I brought out my Prismas, my color gel pen should we need it. And I brought out my Lyras. Now you guys know that I don't bring out my Lyras too often because I don't have many duplicates of them. These are the Lyra Renbergs. So what I'm going to do is going to do the hair light yellow first, or like a light ochre. That tells you that I don't really use my Lyras that often. And if I like the color, I may stay with it. If I don't, I'll put a darker shade on top of it. I don't know if we're going to finish it because I always pick a more, what do you call it? I pick the difficult pictures to color. Sometimes you just need something to hold the other page down. I'm hoping that I also had a job interview earlier this week. I got called back for a second interview. So I'll actually be going and So I'm hoping I really get this job, and it's a second interview, so. But if I get this interview, if I get this job, it means a lot less lives, and it probably means only lives on the weekends. Or I'm going to have to start doing live streams at night. You know, I actually like this yellow hair. And this color is called light ochre. I do not have a lot of duplicates in this. I used to have a lot of duplicates, but I don't know what happened. I found a few duplicates, but not a lot, actually, surprisingly. I thought I had more. I'm sure when I'm not looking for them is when I'll find them. Someone asked me, what would I do with my pencils if, like someone asked me for my budget friendly, would I get them again? Well, the Colors are nice pencils, but I wouldn't get them again. If I ran out of my delis, could I get them again? No, I can't replace those, so. We might not finish this, but if we do finish that, it would be nice to finish a picture. No, I know a lot of you say I should do this first and then do this and then do the center, but that's not really the way that I work. Would I buy the set of Lyras again? Yes. I'll tell you why. Even though I don't use them too often, they work really well on this kind of paper.
Looks exactly like the same house you had, except small. It's like you're missing it out. You go, that's the same house.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mother's on the phone with my uncle, so you may hear some of that. You guys know that. The pages have been really nice to come. So I'm hoping today that they are not doing work, because I noticed when the new internet people are coming, I found out from my mother the new internet service is going to be very, very expensive. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be more money than what we're currently. But this is what the village council agreed to for internet. So our new service will be a company. I've never even heard of them before. So we still have the old one in place, but you know, they've had to do all the setup, all the work, and then when they're ready to install, then you know what comes with the new cable company is Paramount. So then, you know, when they install it and put the Paramount in, I can cancel my existing Paramount account, because then I will not be paying that amount of money. So in some way I'll be saving a little bit of extra money every month. If I get this job, it'll be an hour and a half commute, ideally, but we know what that means, 2 hours if traffic happens. But you know what? For a higher paycheck, I'm really willing to do it. And then maybe if I make enough, I'll learn how to drive and get a car. I tell you, they put a lot of hair in these women. I know, I haven't done this book in a while. I'll tell you right now, this color is light ochre. This is like a brownish yellow, but it, can I say on it? Some of these colors, sometimes when I color with them, I'm kind of surprised by the color payout. What kind of doctor's appointment did you have? Oh, God, I hate those. Well, yesterday, what happened to me was some of you know I'm going for an in-person interview tomorrow. So I got a haircut. Then I also got my nails done. Some of you may have noticed the nails are done, which I often get commented on in my streams. One of the comments I get often in streams is, "You really should do your nails. Your nails look awful." When I sometimes stream, so they can't say that today. My mother laughed about that, and it, sometimes. So I took away that. I have Holbeins, I have gel pens, and I have my livers. Now, when I originally bought my livers, they were on sale. The set for I think $70. Now I think they're like about 125, 150. So the same exact set of 72. This is sky blue. See, I thought it would be more like this color. The colors on the livers are kind of deceptive. Someone asked me why I'm not getting the coloring plan. Number one, it's a lot of money. Number two, what I do is kind of like a planner, except I use Excel sheets. I try to make myself a plan, but to me, it's just some things work better than others. I'm going to put this in green. These little gems are going to be green, and this I think is going to be pink. Oh, and I forgot a part of her hair. I missed a part of her hair. Oh, God. That sounds painful either way. So what happened yesterday was I was supposed to go for, I did go for a mammogram yesterday, but guess I was supposed to get a mammogram yesterday. And then the mammogram, yes, because I got there early, which I always get to my appointments early. I always believe it's better to be early than late. Well, the mammogramist, I don't know why she did this or why she didn't do it, but apparently she decided to leave early. No explanation. We just got told, sorry, So then, you know what I did? I got my COVID shot while I was at the doctor's office. While I was going there to get the mammogram, and I had to reschedule it. This is a Holbein, and what is this color? I think I can never read these. Fresh green. I'm thinking brown. Thinking brown for the bricks in the background. This actually has a lot more colors to it than I thought it was actually. This is what I think when I think of a sky blue. This is horizon blue. Now, most people are going to tell you you shouldn't color with the pencil when it's this small, but it's like when it's technically this small in the whole line. So, you know, I was a little miffed about the mammogram being canceled, and that was on their part, not my part, because, you know, I took time, you know, and, you know, some people, luckily for me, you know, I'm still part-time, but, you know, when this is one of the things that some people say is bad about Kaiser. Don't get me wrong, I love Kaiser, but sometimes they do things and then you're like, what is up with that? What is this color? Something pink. Yes, it is a nice pink. Most vibrant colors go to Holbein. Layering, hands down, goes to Prismas. And what I mean is like when you layer your colors, that's really when you get nice colors in there. Skin tones, prismas, holbeins, and black widows. I'm thinking red, 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 and then blue. But first, we're going to do some skin tone. So now we're going to do what is called soft white. This is soft white, and this is from the Prismas. There are two whites in Prismas. There's a soft white, and then there's another white. For skin tone, I always like starting with the soft white. Hi, Miss Samantha. How are you? We use Lyris for the hair. We're now using the Holbein white colored pencil. You know, I'm kind of good. I got a job interview tomorrow. I'm really excited for it. I'm hoping I get it, but if I get this job opportunity, I will be commuting for about an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half at night, maybe 2 hours, but thank you. It's I had an interview on Tuesday morning, so this is the second interview. So I guess the guy really liked my resume. So I'm like kind of hoping I get it. I really, really need the full-time job. And this would be really good right before Christmas because then I would get paid a lot more money. This is cherry blossom. Now, even though this is a Holbein, you can use this as skin tone. The book we're coloring is Queens of Poland by Krystyna Novak. I can't find this anywhere. I'm sure the illustrator. She used to be on Instagram or what was it called? Olkapot. I was trying to look for her on Etsy and I could not find her. I remember buying this book many years ago through a Polish website. I don't remember what it was, but if you're able to find this book, I highly recommend it. I love the paper in it. She actually had, at the time, the first two came out, which the first one was Slavic Beauties. This is the second one, Queens of Poland. And I think there was another one that she did on Amazon. It is not a color in heaven. This is an older book, Queens of Poland. So it's one of my older hardcovers. It's a Polish artist. So, and speaking of Polish artists, or foreign artists, some of you know that Karolina Kubakowska just came out with is coming out with a new one. So already pre-orders have already started for it. Mm-hmm. This is the peach from Holbein's. It is pretty. It was, I remember at the time I had paid quite a lot of money for it. So if I get this job would solve a couple of, it might help me a little bit. What it would do would, and financially would help me more. So I'm really hoping that I can get this job because it would mean a lot to me to get this job. One brilliant. I'm not really sure what this is. These are Holbeins. The virus. I know some people can do skin tone with anything, but I'm not one of those people. I like certain pencils for skin tone. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing. It's just how I know how to do it and what I have found works for me. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to get something that works differently for you. Today we might work on a blender pencil. Someone goes, what is a blender pencil? Blender pencil is kind of like when you do a thing in there. Now we get into the prisms. I need a little bit more pink. Salmon pink. Salmon pink is a great, great color. Hold on, let me just take a sip of some water. I have water on the side here. Now I have salmon pink. Someone asked me, what do I like to sharpen? Well, a lot of you see me sharpen with one of these, but when my pencils are really, really tiny, I tend to use one of the little I think sometimes, because I've been using more of the newer stuff, not the older stuff, that I wanted to bring out something a little bit older. I may not need to use the blender pencil, but I do have it out. And this is salmon pink. So now we will use the light peach. That will blend everything in together. This is the way that I color skin tone. That doesn't necessarily mean my way is the best, or some, but I go light to dark, and some people go dark to light. What have I been reading? I finished The Cursed by Harper L. Woods. Next week before Thanksgiving, before I leave for Thanksgiving holiday to be with my father, I'm probably not going to stream the week of Thanksgiving. If I do, it's probably going to be the day before I leave, and me and my mother will be putting up our Christmas tree probably a little bit before Thanksgiving. The tree was really easy last year to put together. Usually, I always have problems. It usually hits us or somebody goes, this is varnishing, which means you're using this color as you're layering. Now, there are a couple of pencils that do this in each set. The Lyras have the blenders, which will do this job too. Light Peach and Prisma, it's kind of my brandish in color. So you see how all these colors go in really well. Lately, my problem is sometimes you guys know during the middle of a stream, it'll cut off and then it'll be like, why is that happening? What I think it happens is because they're working on installing new internet that we've had some problems. But you see why I like the colors to be and if I do use another color from another set, don't worry, I have more of these. Light peach one. I guess when I left New York, I bought like a ton of them. I still have like one or two left, so that tells you how often I use the color. 3 years, I've gone through a lot of these. Light peach probably is my most popular used Prismacolor pencil. Brightest colors go to Hold Mine, hands down. I never say anything bad about them because they're just a beautiful pencil set. So then I get the red. I was thinking blue before, but now I'm thinking maybe orange. I mean, yeah, it's Christmas time, and so the colors would be blue. And I tell people this all the time. Well, one of the things I'm learning is because I have limited space and resources, I'm going to use what I have. I can't buy everything like I used to buy. Frankly, I don't have the money. And even if I did have the money, I still have to be conscientious of my shelf space in my house. And now that I'm reading novels again and getting back into doing that, I think it's also important to remember that you use what you have. It's a funny thing to say, use what you have. But it's kind of like I'm finding that this is more and more true. I don't know what color this is. P324. This is a sky blue. Don't worry, I have another one I found that. Now, some should say I should use a darker blue, but the thing is sometimes when you use darker colors, they don't pop as much. I thought I was going to use gel pens, but I'm like thinking maybe I'm not going to use them. Because maybe the P stands well enough alone by itself. Would you guys be interested in seeing one of the whips I've been working on in Dark Fairy Tales by any chance? Hi, Carol. We're good today. I guess I'm going to have to start thinking about follow-up interview questions later on today. And then I'm going to be also doing some laundry today. I've also started making my Christmas list. And one of the things that I asked for is a tripod for the phone. So if I have a problem again and I have to stream on my phone, I can get an iPod tripod. Yeah, you need one of those, actually. I found out the hard way. Someone asked me, how could you color with something so little? But you know what? I don't think people realize just how expensive these pencils have gotten. To get one of these things, one pencil, is about $3.50 now for a Holbein pencil. So you're darn right I'm going to make the most out of my pencil. Would you guys be interested in seeing a Kirby book, a whip that I'm working on in Kirby? Okay, you would like to see the whip. Hold on, let me go into the other room to get it. So I'm essentially at this point using my polychromos. As you can see, I'm using this for the water. This is the La Lorna picture. Guys, see how much work I've done on this already. See, I still got to do the black here, and then I got to do those flowers. I got to finish doing the water, the leaves, the candles. So that tells you what, and basically right now I'm using Holbeins. Not Holbeins, polychromos on that. So keep that in mind for the parts of it, but I've used all the pencils for it. Thank you. Thank you, Carol, very much for the compliment. That picture's taking me longer to do because there's so much, there are some people who do Kirby pictures so fast, and I envy them because they do it so fast. I wish I could do it that fast. But, I find that his work is really, really fast. And I was trying to look for a place that sold this. There is one place, but I don't feel comfortable putting the link down because the book is $54. And that's on eBay. I'm not even sure about the shipping. So keep that in mind. Also, I know Krystyna Novak used to have an Instagram, and she used to be called Oli Part Art or something like that. If you guys are wondering, I do have another pencil. It's the same color, so. I just wish I had more Lyra duplicates. And I remember having more Lyra duplicates, but I don't know what happened to them. It's a weird thing when you're like, why don't I have these the way that I remember having them? I'm thinking this is going to be gray. This is my hold lines. I can't read these. This is warm gray, number 2 or 3. Would I say this book is grayscale? We're on the other tripod, actually. We're not on the silver one that my mother bought. Right now, that one, I'm not sure what happened, but the little thing to screw on your camera came off of it. And I've been trying to retighten it, and it's not been so good, so. So I like that. I'm thinking this is going to be all wood. The border's going to be wood too, so. Let me get a grayish brown here. There is a grayish brown in this set. This is called cork. Now, I don't see this color too often in sets, so this is like one of the few sets. I think this is like the only set that I own that has it, or if there are other sets, it's called a different color, so. Now, I spent a lot of time on that Kirby picture. You know, I feel like when I do Kirby that I spend so much time on a Kirby picture. So you see how I do things a little bit differently. So I'm hoping that these pictures This one is called Mahogany. Would I consider this a grayscale? I don't know if this is a grayscale. Because they have pictures in the back here that are real grayscale. So, like, this is what I call a real grayscale, you know. Now, if these weren't blank pages and they were, see, this one would make a very nice Christmas one. But this is very, very grayscale. So most times when I color grayscale, I use markers, but because of the paper in this book, I have to use pencil. So what color is the best for grayscale? Believe it or not, what I'm using actually. Prisma does not always color well in grayscale, and this has nothing to do with the thinking we're going to do blue again or green. Maybe orange, I'm thinking. Maybe a nice green. Thinking a nice green would be nice there. My Lyras. Lyras has some nice greens, but we don't ever really use them. And I think that these pencils kind of kind of get a bad rap because they don't. Thinking true green. Here's the green. Oh, that is nice. And these are like what I call the wood pencils. This green is called True Green by the Lyras. The problem is I don't know if I have a duplicate of it or not. I was only able to find a few Lyra duplicates, and I could have, I think I have more somewhere. I just can't find them in my vast collection of pencils. I could have sworn I had a little case full of Lyras. Like, not the regular pencil case, but duplicates. Hold on. No, I do not have an extra of that. So this is what I keep my These are my Pablo duplicates. And then I put my Lyras that I did find today over here. So this is what I have in duplicates, but I thought I had more duplicates than that. So I do not have an extra green, which means I have to write this down. Probably sometime after Christmas and after I get some money, I'll probably be ordering some new pencils. I originally was going to order markers, refills. I need, it's kind of like, well, what do you need more? What do you use more? The truth is I use both equally. Someone said to me, well, just get a cheap set of markers. I did that a while back, and not that getting cheaper markers is always the answer. I don't think we'll be using that. So you see how I do it? It's like anything else. And we're going to be using the same brown. You're like me, but I do it like quarterly. So every 3 to 4 months I do it rather than once a year. Because if I did it once a year, it'd be too expensive. And I think the last time I ordered was July. So I'm probably going to wait till the end after Christmas and everything. To order. So this is what happens when you have a lot of things piled on you. So my thing is I like to keep everything very nice and neat in my room, if I can. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't always keep everything neat and clean. Oh no. So you see how that is pretty, like I'm thinking this is going to match that when I'm done. But you see, I have a list on my phone of all the things I want, need. So here I am. Don't let me do my YouTube. Where's my thingy in here? So when I do my notes, you see all this? This is all the pencils I need, all the Copics. So you see how long it's gotten now? But the one pencil that I can seem to find here on the stores, like at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, are my Prismas. So sometimes I'll wait till I'm at Hobby Lobby or Michael's if I get a chance to go there. If it's in the shopping plaza that my mother likes to frequent. So then I will take that off the list. But one thing I'm really hoping to do is let's get this job. If I get this job, I'll probably start as soon as December. Possibly. But then we'll do the brown. We're going to do the brown. My mother's decided to come back from a walk. So what have we used today? Lyra's. What is they called? Lyra Rembrandt Polycolors. They are an excellent pencil if you have books like this with this kind of paper. Holbeins, which is what I'm using now, and this is called Mahogany. Prismas. Yeah, this is a really good brown. I actually saw someone do a similar picture to this, but for what is the one with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo? Someone did a similar picture where they put the witch in the center. Had a similar architecture to it, which I kind of was really impressed that the person was able to do something similar. It was like a similar kind of the person in a stained window. And no, I do not have a Wicked coloring book. So the Wicked coloring book. A lot of people like that stuff. I thought the first movie was really, really good. I saw the play in New York. I tell you, that theater is cold. I am looking to Stranger Things season 5. That looks like it's going to be very good. I have watched the first episode of the new season of The Witcher. I have watched that. I'm still in the middle of episode 2. I am trying to finish up Animal Kingdom on Netflix before it leaves. I'm like in the I think 2 or 3 episodes away from finishing season 5. So I'm trying to finish that up too. I'm currently watching a series about the American Revolution on PBS by Ken Burns. Ken Burns has really good documentaries. Then we'll make this blue inside. Sometimes the paper moves on this, so sometimes I'll put a little something on it to keep it from moving. Another thing too, if you color in circular motion sometimes, it gets rid of a little bit more white. I learned that trick from using markers. Is the pressure different when you use markers versus pencils? Well, it depends on the markers. It depends if you're using a brush tip or not. I can't say anything about Chameleon because I have not used that brand. I know, right? It is a list. But that's how I keep track of things, of what I need. I'm kind of glad that there is not a book club for December. Yeah, December is free. There was one, but I didn't read the book because I'm not really into what is the name for that Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy as a character? I'm not really into Dramonis. I will say that I did try to read one earlier this year, and I thought it was like one of the worst written things I've ever read. And I read like 100 something pages, and then I stopped after part one. I could not do it because the book traumatized me. And I remember a few years ago, I read another Julie Soto book, and I was still traumatized. Every time I read a Julie Soto book, I get traumatized. I'm not joking. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I can't tolerate certain things in a book, but when I read a book, I want to be lost in the book, whether it be like an autobiography, a fantasy, or romance. I want to be locked in there. So what am I currently reading? I am currently reading The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, book by Lori Gilmore. And I'm going to be starting Thrown in the Dark probably tonight. So then we're going to do Blue. Someone asked me if I finished this book, would I keep it? The answer is yes. I would keep this book if I ever finished it because I like the pictures. I like the colorings in it. And this has nothing to do with if the book is rare or not. I mean, yeah, that does help with the... Now we're going to do this again. Horizon Blue. I like when colors can, I like when I can, honest to God, say I like the colors. And before I add something to my list of my colored pencils and the stuff that I need art supplies, I always double check before I put it on the list to make sure I don't already have it. So we have now finished a page this month in a hardcover book, and this is by Krystyna Novak. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was do more artists that, aren't like on our mainstream reader. Knock this over. Didn't mean to, but you guys see how nice this came out? So we used Prismas, Holbeins, Lyra Rembrandts. So I hope you all have enjoyed this. I know I have enjoyed this, and I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay very well. And remember, be kind to one another. It's hard out there, so I want everybody to be kind and nice to each other. So everybody have a wonderful weekend and happy coloring, everybody. Bye, everybody.